everyone. In this video, I want to talking about the 3 different type of analytic techniques. Okay, so as we said in the previous video, this class is more business analytic oriented. So the ultimate goal is help business to finding the problems. So every time we try to solve the business problem, we need to ask what kind of business problem we want to solve. So generally speaking, we have 3 different kind of business problem you try to solve. And then that's corresponding to 3 different kind of analytics technique. So the first is when the business owner try to ask what has happened. So try to understand. So for instance, when you start selling the chocolate to the customers, you want to ask who are actually buying my chocolate, right? So that's the question is who are my customers? So if that's a question, it belonging to called the descriptive analytics. So you try to describe what kind of problem you're facing. And the second phase of the business problem is called predictive analytics. So once you know who are your customers, maybe you try to say, let's see, I want to adding a new flavor on my chocolate. What can happen for my revenues, right? So you try to predict something never happened. So in that situation, we call what could happen in the future. So that kind of analytics is considered as a predictive analytics. And then the last type is called the prescriptive analytics. So for instance, if you work with like IRS, try to find the fraud, or even work for the bank, right? Bank always work on the fraud detective. So for instance, you guys look at the different credit card transaction, you know, oh, we have a high fraud rate in certain area, and then the business are gonna ask, so if that's the case, what should we do? So in order to answer that question, what should we do? We need to carry on called the prescriptive analytics, just like a doctor prescribe medicine to the patient, right? So those are the 3 type of the business question the business leader will ask, and that's corresponding to 3 different kind of the analytic technique. Okay, so here we are turning the data-driven recommendation into action, and also require thorough consideration and organizational commitment beyond developing descriptive and the predictive analytic tools. Okay, so during this whole semester, we will cover the concept related to each type of the analytical technique. So we're starting from descriptive analytics. Okay. So in chapter 2, 3, in this semester, we are covering chapter 3 and 4. So chapter 3 and 4, they are belonging to descriptive analytics. So in chapter 3, we'll look at the data visualization. And then chapter 4, we are looking at the, so actually here is incorrect. So chapter 3 is numeric description, and the chapter 4 is the data visualization. So both chapters are helping us learn what is the descriptive analytics. So describing the situation. And then we're going to move on chapter 6 and the 7 and the 12. And so we look at the regression analysis and the time series forecasting. And so in both, all 3 chapters, what we are learning, those techniques belonging to the predictive analytics. So we are able to using those statistical model to predict if we do this, what's going to happen down the road, or if we do this, what the business is going to change. Okay. And then at the end of the semester, we're going to cover chapter 13, where we are learning linear optimization. That's where we learn the technique belonging to the prescriptive analytics. Okay. And so the only chapter we're going to left over will be the unsupervised data mining and the supervised data minings. So those concepts require more advanced analytical skills. So maybe if you're going to the master's degree level, the data scientist program, and you will learn further about what is the supervised and unsupervised data mining. Okay, so we're going to skip those. But we are building a strong foundation, allow you to have the tools in each one of the analytical toolbox, right? Okay, so to give you more in-depth understanding about these 3 analytics methods, and I want to give you more details because in the whole semester we will dive in each area further. So for the descriptive analytics, as I said, it's talking about what has happened. So it's involving gathering data, organizing the data, and we're going to creating tabular tables or even visualize the data or creating some descriptive analytics. Like I said, chapter 3 and 4, that is what will happen after module 1. Module 2 and 3, that's when we are diving into the numeric description and also our data visualization. And so descriptive information can be presented in a number of the format. It can be a written report, tables, graph, and maps. So in in our first case, the exams, so you were experiencing creating presentation using the data visualization and the tables, right? So for the descriptive analytics is referred to as a business intelligence. So if you know somebody work for EY, so they actually, instead of called business analyst title, they give their business analyst a new title. It's called business intelligence. So basically they're the same thing actually. So the assessing and manipulate data through reports, dashboards, application, and visualization tools. They will use past data integrated from multiple sources, inform decision making, and identify problems and the solution. So for instance, a firm's marketing expense and the sales and any financial report, crime rate across region and the time. So if you try to analyze those data and you are doing a job fulfilling descriptive analytics functions. So the second type is called the predictive analytics. So we are use historical data to make prediction. Analytical model help identify association. Keep in mind, association is not means causation, so causal relationship. So sometimes people get confused. So association used to estimate the likelihood of the favorable outcomes. So the commonly considered advanced predictions. Build a model that can help an organization understand what might happen in the future, and then we're using the statistics and the data mining. So for instance, you try to identify customers who are most likely to respond to specific marketing campaign and a transaction that are likely to be fraudulent or incident of a crime at certain regions and at times. So those are the example that you are using the predictive analytics to solving the problems. So the last type is called prescriptive analytics. And so usually we try to optimize and simulate the algorithm to provide advice. So in this class, we're using linear optimization. So the Excel have come with a very good tool called the solver. It allows us to solve linear optimization by one click. So it's very convenient. And we'll explore several possible actions. We will suggest course of action. So commonly this consider advanced prediction. We build models that help an organization understand what might happen in the future, and we're going to use the statistics and the data mining techniques. So first, you try to schedule in points of work hours, and you try to select the mix of product to manufacture. And lastly, you can choose an investment portfolio. Okay, so there are so many applications using linear optimization to solve the real business problems. Okay, so in our next lecture, we will dive into the type of data.